What is NoSQL? NoSQL generally stands for not only SQL, which means anything not in a tabular structure is the database name is given as not only SQL, right? Okay. Because as and when the data became more complex, so just imagine every day the digital landscape is changing so much that you cannot have a fixed schema. So what do I mean by schema? Schema means this, right? I've defined that order item will always have 4 columns, customer will always have 3 columns, transaction will always have 4 columns. That's a schema that I've defined. But you can't expect it in today's world. Today it will be something, tomorrow it will be changed to something, right? So these not only SQL databases have a dynamic schema. That means you can keep changing your schema. Importantly, NoSQL has no specific query language like SQL. There are different languages for different kinds of NoSQL database. This is just one form of storage of data. This is called the collection and documentation form, but there are other forms as well. In NoSQL, there is a graph database, there's a key value column pair, a lot of things, right? Now, this is very, very new in the industry, not only SQL. Very new means relatively new. Okay, NoSQL and SQL supports everything. SQL also supports audio and video storage. NoSQL also supports audio and video storage. But the main difference is SQL databases store relationships in the form of tables. NoSQL does not store it in the form of tables. It stores it in the form of key value pairs. It stores it in the form of a graph database. So what I would advise you to do is, I will share this material with you. Now, any company, right? You can say Amazon or Facebook or Microsoft has both because relational database has its own advantage. Non-relational database also has its own advantage. So usually what you see is it's a mixture of both databases the company will have. What I want you to do is go back, research as much as you can about NoSQL database and have a good at least knowledge of having a discussion. If someone asks, hey, do you know NoSQL? You can say, yes, I know what NoSQL is, and you can have that discussion, right? I have listed down some differences which can be useful for you. Type of database, RDBMS is relational. NoSQL. Now, if you look at the internet and most of the blogs or whatever information, right, they say that NoSQL is not relational, which is actually not true. Okay, NoSQL also has relationship between different pieces of information. So what I would call it is relational, but it is not tabular. Okay, because I've seen this common misconception among different people saying that, hey, NoSQL means no relation, which is wrong. Okay, schema, it needs a predefined schema. Like I said, NoSQL does not need a predefined schema. These are the database categories I was talking about, right? This is table based, this is document, it can be document based, like we saw here, right? Let's say there are two, there is an order info, there is transaction and items. Order info as transaction and items. So these fields, instead of tables, it will go to something called as collection. In our relational database, this would be one table, this would be another table. After collection, it will go to the information that is stored will go to something called document. Okay, that's how, if let's say, if you talk about NoSQL, that's how it will be stored. Now, if there is a new piece of information, then it will be a new collection in this order info, without much change in the schema. Complex queries. Now, relational database is a better fit for complex query. Okay, like I said, both relational database and NoSQL database have their own advantage and disadvantage. One of the main advantages of relational database is it is very easy to write a piece of code on relational database. NoSQL, it is a little bit difficult because there are different languages for different NoSQL. Data storage. Again, it is not a good fit for storing large amounts of data because it tends to get little heavy and slow since it is rigid. NoSQL is a much better fit for storing large amounts. Scalability, vertically scalable, horizontally. Language, here SQL is used. NoSQL, it just varies from database to database. There is no fixed language.